NoBrokenLegs. I am your host, Evan Belfiore. Joining me on the phone is Jimmy Champ on a snowy Friday afternoon. Jimmy, how are you today?
I'm doing okay. Just still wrestling with the fact that either Drake May or Sam Darnold are going to have a Super Bowl championship here in a couple days. So,
Yeah, if you're
other than that, we're
Lamar,
okay.
if you're Lamar or Josh Allen, that's got to sting.
He has to. Has to.
Well, before we get to the big game, Jimmy, we got a new coach. It's Todd
Yeah?
Monken. How excited are you?
How excited am I? Do not want to take away from the success that Todd Monken has had running offenses. And I think Todd Monken can probably be a good leader for this team. But by all accounts, it looks like it cost the team Jim Schwartz, and that's what I don't understand. Because I don't think there's that much of a difference between Jim Schwartz and Todd Monken as the head coach to have lost Jim Schwartz over it.
The fans wanted Jim Schwartz to be the head coach, but I think it's easier to hire an offensive coach to fix the offense and find somebody to coach all of this talent I'm told they had on defense than it would be to find somebody to come in as an OC under Jim Schwartz, I would think, in this situation, because the offensive talent is terrible.
Yeah, I think that's a fair take, but
I know everybody likes Jim Schwartz, but this defense isn't as good as everybody says it is. I've been pounding my fist on the table for at least 6 years saying this. And because they can't get big stops when they need them. They disappear for stretches of games. The last 3 or 4 years, they give up a big play a game. And it's like, I don't care what their win rate is. I don't care if they win 90% of the plays that they're on. If the 10% of the plays that they lose, they give up 20-yard gains.
Yeah, but that's what concerns me, that with all of the supposed talent, the defense was still not nearly good enough. And I wonder how much of how good they were was Jim Schwartz's scheme and coaching. So that worries me a little bit.
Well, he did. I'll give Jim Schwartz this credit. That defense looked a lot worse when it was Joe Woods calling plays.
100%. 100% true. But I do agree, your premise makes sense. And Todd Monken's numbers suggest he's really good at creating yards and points, but you struggled to move the ball and score touchdowns with the Baltimore Ravens offense last year.
Yeah. Can I throw another thing that concerns me about Todd Monken?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the Baltimore offense known for? Failing to draft and develop wide receivers. What is Andrew Berry notorious for? Failing to evaluate wide receiver talent, and that worries me. I'm also, we've talked about the offensive line. They could have 5 new linemen next year for all we know. We'll see who ends up coming back here in the next couple of months as the offseason ramps up. I don't understand why you're giving a 60-year-old his first head coaching job. That part doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Again, we've talked about how Baltimore seems to not get the most out of all that talent that they have, especially in big games.
Yeah.
So those are all areas of concern. I do have one area that makes me somewhat hopeful for the Todd Monken era. He seems like he's a straight shooter, and we might not have to endure the bullshit that we would get from Stefanski, which would be very refreshing. And I hope that translates to the locker room, because that locker room needs somebody who's going to look people in the eye and tell them the truth.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that statement. And yeah, it worries me, because I think we could all probably agree that the reason they ended on Todd Monken is because all the people they wanted didn't want the job.
Yep.
And that's scary.
I don't think it's scary. I think it's reality.
Well, it can be both.
I think I wasn't a big proponent of Clint Kubiak a month ago, but seeing what he's been able to do with Sam Darnold in these playoffs and that offense, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns reached out to him and he just said, no, thank you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm
100%.
gonna go down to Vegas and I'm gonna coach the number 1 draft pick who has looked really good, and we'll see how much of that can translate to the pros. But he certainly checks all the boxes in college.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of big time throws, and we saw some of them. Some of those throws he made against Ohio State were just, I mean, those are pro level throws.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you're Clint Kubiak and it's like, yeah, look what I did with Sam Darnold, I'm gonna go do it with another guy.
Yeah.
And who wound up in Arizona? I don't even remember now. Cardinals homepage. Oh, look at that. Larry Fitzgerald was voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. No, they hired Mike LaFleur.
There it is. It was LaFleur.
Yeah, the other off. I would have hired LaFleur before I hired Minter.
Yeah, 100%.
So that at least makes some sense. I don't know, Jimmy. The Browns are probably going to be really bad next year. It's been interesting to watch everybody go from, we're going to get one of these young guys, to the initial shock of Monken's name being thrown out there, building steam, and then him getting hired and everybody being like, what the hell are they doing? And then now everybody's just like, yeah, it's going to work out. It's going to be great. It's we've seen the last 3 weeks. It's been like draft time for the Browns. It's just everybody's just sipping the Kool-Aid.
Very curious to see what they do roster construction-wise, because the roster they have now, they cannot do the things that Todd Monken's offenses normally do. So I'm just very curious to see what the roster moves are.
Yeah, and the big telling thing will be, what do they do at quarterback? Are they going to bring somebody else in? Do they keep Watson and just have him be the veteran guy on the roster? You think they trade Gabriel?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess it depends what Todd Monken wants now.
Think Kevin Stefanski's going to trade for him?
I think Kevin Stefanski would take him in a heartbeat.
How embarrassing is it going to be for the Browns when Atlanta looks pretty good next year and has a competent offense with basically the entire coaching staff that they had here?
It's embarrassing, but like, it should be embarrassing to Andrew Berry that the Falcons have rebuilt a roster the way they have it, the way he could not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Andrew Berry embarrassment and we still get we're still getting the mixed messaging, because Andrew Berry, when they were talking about Stefanski, gave different reasons for the firing than Jimmy Haslam did.
Yeah. It just...
which is just great. It just
yeah.
fills... When the people at the top are telling you different things to the public, as a player, you see that. And it's just like any of us at any of our jobs. When the people at the top are saying different things, you're all looking at each other going, do these guys think any of us buy this shit?
Yeah, it just feels like, it's the most talented team Stefanski's coached since COVID. And I just expect the offense to be really good. And I expect the Browns offense to be really bad. Like, I think the Browns are going to be one of the worst teams in the league next year. And it's going to be the same nonsense from Andrew Berry and the front office while you're trying to get support to sell these damn PSLs for this dome. And it's just, man, it's bad all the way around.
I thought it was funny when Darryl Ryder said he doesn't expect Todd Monken to be the coach when they move into that stadium.
Yeah, I think that's probably the general consensus, if everybody's being honest.
One of the things that has really made me laugh over the last week or two, listening to some Cleveland sports talk, and I've sort of been tuning it in and tuning it out in waves, because listening to the dumb trade talk, like, maybe the Browns will go get Justin Jefferson, maybe they'll make a run at Crosby. Like, they don't have the cap room to make any of those moves.
No, they do not.
And they're going to be hamstrung by that, and it's going to be difficult for them to fill the very many holes that they have on this roster, because they still have holes on defense they need to fill, and they basically need an entirely new offense.
Yep. I mean, and, about the time Watson's contract finally gets off the books, you're going to be overpaying for a Hall of Fame defensive end that doesn't stop the other team from winning games. So...
Yeah. So the same old rosy outlook for the Browns that we always have, that everybody can rely on.
Yeah, just draft. split the
Draft
number of
good.
draft
It
picks you
does
have,
look
and
like
everyone should be an offensive lineman and a wide receiver.
it does. It does look like they're doing what I had suggested they do because they have the cover to do it, which is just roll with Sanders. Just do it. Build the rest of the team up. And if he's not good like I would expect him to be next year, then you can move off of him pretty easily. And he's a 5th-round pick. It's no big deal. But you will have, as a team, you will have set up your roster to be in significantly better shape so that when you do look to get your next quarterback, you actually have some pieces around him to help him out.
Yeah, but I don't know how we get into another OBJ situation where a talented roster becomes toxic because of one player underperforming and causing problems with everyone else. That is my concern. Is that
That's fair. It's a fair concern.
like you actually get some talent and Shador still sucks, and then nobody can say, well, it's because of the talent. I just feel like that's going to be a very bad situation.
I think he'll be good enough to do exactly what they need him to do, which is make enough big plays to keep the fans happy until you get to like week 11 or 12, and then everybody will just be like, all right, let's start looking at the college guys.
Okay, well, I hope you're right. I don't agree, but I hope you're right.
Oh, I don't think it's probably what they need to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they've got to make this roster better.
Yes.
And I mean, just look at the two teams that are playing in the Super Bowl. Seattle's defense and New England's defense are both better than the Browns' defenses, and their offenses are much better.
Yes.
So it's a long way to go for the Browns, and it's not going to happen in one season, that's for sure.
No.
Well, let's pivot to those teams that are playing in the Super Bowl.
Oh.
The Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites over the New England Patriots. The over-under sits at 45.5. The Seahawks are minus 225 on the money line, plus 185 for the Patriots. What do you think of that 4.5 squarely in the Vegas zone?
I mean, I think the Patriots are going to win outright, so I'll happily take points too.
Yeah, I'm like I really like New England with the points because I think this is going to be a close game. The defenses have just been so good for both of these teams. I think Seattle's been a little better, and it looks like that Seattle offense just has a lot more versatility to it. When New England has the ball, Seattle's going to sell out to stop the run. That's what they've been doing all year. They've done it very effectively, and they get teams in 3rd and long, and the only quarterback that's had any continued success against them was Matt Stafford. And Baker had a really good game against them, but that was like week 6 or 7, so that was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to fall on Drake May. If they can't run the ball, Drake May is going to have to make throws, which he really hasn't done this postseason.
No, but he might finally have a game that is inducive to throwing the football. Maybe. Like, possibly. I mean, the weather could still be a little funky there in Santa Clara.
Mm-hmm.
I completely disagree with you and so many people about how great and how versatile the Seattle Seahawks offense has looked in the playoffs. I think Mike Vrabel has looked at the same tape I have, and he's gone, wait, if we just blitz straight ahead all game and we, bracket JSN, these guys can't beat us. And I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to run blitz all game, tackle Sam Darnold on his way. JSN will never catch the ball, so that eliminates the creativity, and Sam Darnold is going to throw 3 interceptions, and the New England Patriots are going to win this game like 17-10.
Yeah, looking at this when Seattle has the ball, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying because Mike Vrabel comes from the Bill Belichick school of coaching. And the number one thing that the Seahawks are going to want to do is get plays downfield. And he's just not going to let Jackson Smith-Njigba beat him.
No, or
he's not going to let their best player beat him.
Or there'll be some really sneaky zones to bait Darnold into those throws. And this is a pro Sean McVay zone. Like, all of Seattle's big wins this year have came on the backs of some wonky shit happening.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them. Like, you go in to sack Drake May and you hit him in the face, they're going to throw the flag. You're not going to get away with it like you did against the Rams. New England is not going to have a punt returner fall down while trying to field a punt for you to flip the field and flip the momentum. You're not going to complete 2 big fourth downs against Mike Vrabel. I don't believe that's going to happen. All of the wonky shit that Seattle has done over the course of the last month and a half, I don't think you're going to do it against Mike Vrabel with all this time to prepare in a Super Bowl. I just don't believe it. And I don't Sam Darnold threw more interceptions than anybody all year long. Like that, you don't just normally that doesn't just stop. But they've been able to limit him to 15 passes a game to wide open wide receivers. I don't think you're going to get that in this game. I just really don't. And you've also got just a seasoned veteran against a very hot coach who's never been in this situation. And I think that's absolutely going to matter.
The coaching aspect of this definitely favors New England. I'm not saying Mike Macdonald's a bad coach and he can coach a really good game, but if he out-coached Mike Vrabel, I would be shocked.
Yes.
Because that's just how highly I think of Vrabel.
Yep.
And I think they're going to get pressure on Darnold. And when you hit Darnold, that's when he makes mistakes.
Yep.
So I see him definitely turning the ball over once or twice. I think Drake May is going to turn the ball over once or twice because I think it's going to be tough for them to run the ball. He's going to have to make some throws. The one bet that I really like in this game a lot is Drake May over 38.5 yards.
Yeah, that feels like easy money.
So good at stopping running backs, but they've been kind of poor against quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They do give up a lot of rushes to quarterbacks. And Drake May, that's been the one thing he's done so well this year. We talked about it in years past with Patrick Mahomes, knowing when to run.
Yep.
And Drake May's really shown a talent for that. And it's really impressive to see a second-year player coming up with some of the big plays that he's done when he has struggled as much as he has, because he's had his own turnover issues these playoffs.
Yeah. Yep.
So those are the quarterbacks. We think they'll both kind of struggle. I think each is going to turn the ball over. It'll just be a question of when and where and what does it lead to for the other side. Yep. We both like the defenses. You said 17-10. The over-under is 45.5. I was pretty surprised to see a number that big.
Me too. I just don't. I don't see
for our people out there listening, thinking about how they want to bet the game. We both like New England on the money line. I think New England definitely win this game. And if it's a close game late, I'm definitely going to favor Drake May over Sam Darnold, despite what we've seen the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker over under 71.5 yards rushing. Do you think he can get there against this New England defense?
I think he will, just because he's going to get so many carries.
Yeah, because if it's a close game like we think, nobody will really be out of it in terms of, we have to just pass.
Yeah, I think he'll get to 85 yards on 2 yards of carry. That kind of thing.
Stevenson's over-under sits at 50.5. Henderson's is at 18.5. And Henderson barely played, so that may be take the under on Henderson. I don't know what happened. I don't know why he seems to fall in and out of the lineup, but do you think Stevenson's can make hay against this team at 50.5?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so you like to see them run the ball. What about on the receiving side of the ball?
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. You like Stephon Diggs to have a big day?
I think Drake May. See, I think it's the difference
his over-under
between
sits at 45.5. That's a low number.
Yeah, I think it's the difference between like the veteran and the young guy. Like when Darnold sees JSN double covered, he's not going to throw the ball to him because he's not going to want to throw interceptions. Drake May is going to throw the ball to Stephon Diggs. That is the most sure thing they have, and that's where he's going to throw the football.
We think the Patriots are going to double Smith-Njigba. Cooper Kupp's over-under sits at 33.5. That seems like a guy that should reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, that feels like that should go way over.
And you've got Kenneth Walker at 22.5 receiving yards. I think that's another one where you'll probably see
Yeah.
some dump offs. Rashid Shaheed is at 22.5 as well. So there's another guy. Those two guys probably, if it turns out the way we think this game goes, will probably get close to 30 yards because they'll get at least 3 or 4 dump off catches.
Yeah.
Any other prop bets you like in this game?
Not really. I think we covered the good ones. Like I like plus 1.5, if not. I probably like plus 1.5 interceptions for both quarterbacks. Like I really kind of like that spot. I like the unders on both of their passing yards. I think both teams are going to be forced to run the ball and try to flip fields and try to force the other team to make mistakes. I don't think in a clean game either one of these offenses are good enough to blow out the other team. So
yeah, me too. So plus 196 for each quarterback to throw an interception. That's a 2-leg parlay. You're getting almost 2 to 1. Find a boost out there. You could probably get that up to 3 to 1. Yeah, I'm with you. There aren't a lot of prop bets I like in this game because I feel unders. I feel like there's going to be a lot of unders.
yes. Yeah.
People like betting overs, but this playoffs has really showed us that defenses have taken over. And the defensive schemes have really hit their stride. And I think what we saw with Seattle and LA was as much about those two teams knowing each other so well.
Yeah.
And that was just two heavyweight fighters throwing haymakers. They were just marching up and down the field on each other.
Yep.
And I don't see New England really being able to do that. So we both think New England gets back on top. Man, that's going to be frustrating to deal with them again.
Yeah, how absolutely crazy. And you know the crazy thing is, too, like, Pittsburgh won the AFC North, so that's a first-place game next year. Like, Denver won the West. That's a first-place game next year. Like, Houston, who knows what their quarterback situation is next year. I think it's absolutely crazy to me that New England could have an easy schedule next year, too, with a first-place schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, because your second place schedule, whoever plays the AFC North and AFC East, they're going to catch Buffalo and Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah.
And then imagine being some poor NFC team and you get Kansas City as the 3, your third place counterpart. That's going to be something we'll talk about next year when we do the preseason over-unders. We're just going to look at Kansas City's schedule and go, well, they play 3 third-place teams.
Yeah.
It's probably going to work out for them.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on the Super Bowl?
No, just because this season was so much chaos and this is so different. Like, I know a lot of people like the Sam Darnold story, but, like, this is the most disinterested I've been in a Super Bowl in a long time.
Really?
Just for myself personally. Like, I think the defenses are going to shine, and I like that, but it just feels like, and I get it, it's sport, it's competition, but to me, it's been a handful of years since anybody could say, well, the best teams didn't play for the Super Bowl. And I feel like the best teams in the league are not playing in the Super Bowl.
So who do you think the best teams in the league are?
I don't know, but I don't think it's these two.
I think it is.
Okay.
They've been right there all year. They're well coached. They have good defenses. In a year where the bigger name players had down seasons and a lot of the teams that we're used to seeing fell back, I think we're looking at two teams that have proven their mettle. And they've lost very few games. They've definitely caught some breaks. New England had a really easy schedule this year, and nobody's going to care when they win the Super Bowl. And same with Seattle. They had a third-place schedule this year, and they played the NFC South. So those things help, but they also played in the NFC West, and they kind of kicked the shit out of all those teams, even though I thought the Rams were better. But, we've seen it on the field now. They beat them twice.
Yeah.
So I'm fine. I wave the white flag. Like, these teams are good. They've proven it. The games have to matter. Do you want to talk? You want to talk a little Cavs
Oh, we can
before
for
we
sure.
head out?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Harden trade?
I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand. I can't be convinced. I can't be swayed. It makes no sense. Um, like, you needed to trade Darius Garland. You also needed to
Correct.
trade Jared Allen, and you needed to get some athletic wings for them. And instead, we got James Harden.
I really liked it when they traded for DeAndre Hunter. He's exactly the type of player they need. A big wing. He can defend. He can
Yeah.
shoot. It just didn't work. I don't know if it was a fit issue. He said he kind of had some problems down in Atlanta. Maybe it's just him, but he's like, that's sort of the prototype of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But whatever reason it wasn't working here, you trade him. You get a guard that can really defend, which I thought that was something good to get back. But I just what all these articles about how the Cavs are now like ahead in the East, like that was what everybody said 2 years ago when he went to the Clippers.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And that was what everybody said 3 years ago when he went to the Sixers.
Yeah,
and 5 years ago when he went to Brooklyn. And 6
I don't
years ago when he
understand.
went to Houston.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense how, like, the most underperforming postseason superstar, how you acquire him, and then people go, well, now you're better than these other teams. No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, because they're going to have the same problems that they've had every postseason. They're still soft on defense. A lot of that flows through Jared Allen. And they're also they don't have enough defenders. Like, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell are your starting guards.
Yeah.
I forget the kid's name that they traded for to play the 2 guard, but if you're going to do that, then you're going to have 3 guys on the court that are all under like 6'6".
Yeah.
Like, Boston's going to eat you alive.
Yeah, and they play the best when they get good ball motion, and James Harden is the killer for that. Like,
well, he's the system. So you're taking
Yeah.
the ball out of Mitchell's hand to get what you need out of Harden for him to be his best. So again, it's like Kobe Altman just refuses to put 2 guards out on the court that complement each other.
yes.
He just won't do it, regardless of how bad it has looked every year in the postseason. They can't stop dribble penetration because they don't have the defenders at the point of attack, and we're a broken record about this, and it's really frustrating to see all of this praise when we know this team's probably not going to be competitive again in the second round.
Yeah. It was just very weird. I just don't understand. I guess my thing is like I don't understand the people that are like, now the Cavs are the team to beat these. I don't see it. I don't understand.
Yeah, like, what has James Harden done, and what have the Cavs done the last few years to make you think that they're considerably better? I don't get it. It's really, the core 4 is now broken up for good with Garland being traded. They should have traded Garland 2 years ago, and they should have traded Allen last year or the year before, but
Yep.
For them to have all of that talent for that amount of time and not even be competitive in a second round series, like, that's the sort of stuff that should lead to a GM getting fired. But for some reason, he's getting patted on the back. It's just really frustrating because this team could have done a lot more.
It's a staple of Cleveland front offices, man.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Especially with all the praise that Altman's been getting, it's just like, look, man, like, this isn't making them better, and they're still not below the second apron. They're still, the number reported was like 3.8 or whatever, but they still have to sign somebody, so it's really more like 4.6.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're going to be able to finagle anything to get under that. They probably can this next off season, but I mean, I like Jared Allen, but he's just not tough enough and doesn't bring them what they need. This team should have just approached as soon as Donovan Mitchell signed that extension. I was like, you need to understand that Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley at the 5 and Mitchell at the 2, or maybe the 1, those are your two guys, and everybody else needs to be traded to just put like 6-7 athletic dudes around those three. Those
yeah,
two.
I mean, I think to me, there's just no doubt that the continuation of Jared Allen has stunted the growth of Evan Mobley.
It does take. It's helpful for Mobley to not have to play the 5 all year. I mean, that's what they need him to do in the playoffs for them to be their best for the spacing issues and to be athletic enough, because Jared Allen gets pulled out onto the perimeter in the playoffs and teams just dribble right by him because he's just not a good defender on the perimeter, and that's, most centers aren't.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So who do you like in the NBA? Just real quick, we don't talk a lot of basketball, so.
No, I mean,
Oklahoma City.
You feel like right now it's OKC or San Antonio out of the West, and Boston just can't miss shots. So somehow the Celtics might be going back to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, if they get Tatum back too, even if he just gives them 15 minutes a night.
Yeah.
It just they did everything that we've said teams should do for 10 years when we talked to Brandon about basketball. Just get a bunch of athletic dudes that can defend, shoot, and dribble a little bit, and just attack teams 5 out, and they can't be stopped.
Yeah, I just hope the seeding works out so we get a Western Conference final of San Antonio versus OKC.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. The West is so much better than the East this year.
Yes.
Well, I think that's it, man.
Yeah.
Nice short Friday afternoon pod. Super Bowl Sunday night. Thanks for hopping on and talking football one last time.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll probably have to say some more about these stupid Browns, but there's no place I'd rather be, brother.
And I want to thank all of you for listening. For Jimmy Champ, I'm Evan Belfiore. Have a wonderful Super Bowl night, and thank you for listening to No Broken Legs.